Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Flying with Mike. Glad to have you aboard. Yeah, it's a little noisy, at least on my end. I hope I've got it tamed down for you. We're outside taking a look at our chariot to Miami. That's right, 737-800. Hope you all enjoy. We are headed from LaGuardia down to Miami. Now, we left off here with Virtual American, so we're picking right up, headed down to Miami. The other reason being, besides 2.0 beta 2, it's a focus city this month. So we're going to go down and get some extra bonus points. Hopefully we don't slam the runway too hard. All right, so there you have it. We'll get inside. For me, at least, it's quieter here. All right, where I was is building our flight plan into the plane here. Again, LaGuardia to Miami in the Zibo 737-800. All right, so you can see I've already clicked load OFP. And what I'm going to do first, let's bring in Sim Toolkit. I know it covered it up. I can hear, wait a minute, that's charts. There's Sim Toolkit. I was looking at it going, something's not right here. Anyway, so here's our route. Pretty standard, New York to Miami. We'll head down to White to Crippler, Big Bird, SKARP, HOAGG, Bonefish to in. Now they have us set up for runway 12. Now we'll see how operations are working when we get there. I would prefer at least 8 right, if that is indeed the correct operations, or if we have to 12. But before we get there, let's see what they've given us. Like I said, 161 peeps, 8,372 pounds of cargo. Altogether, that's a payload of 36,547 pounds. We're going to be loading those wings up with 22,686 pounds of fuel. And planning cost index 67. Who planned this flight? 36,000. We may do some adjustments. Runway 31's the animal for departure today. 12 currently scheduled for the arrival. All right, I don't think I've ever seen 67 in American. Wonder who did that. All right, well, there's got to be some reason for it. But anyway, winds are 220 here at the LaGarbage Can. 10 miles of visibility and broken sky at 11,000. So it's really a beautiful day. Virga, basically what Virga is, if you're not familiar with it or you've heard your weatherman mention it, and like most, won't go on to the next step and tell you what it is. It's basically raining or precipitating out of the clouds, but the air is dry enough that it doesn't reach the ground. So when you look at the clouds, it'll look like not like the hairy, scary clouds you see on Facebook, but it'll look like, well, what you would typically think is a shaft of showers coming out of it, but you'll notice it doesn't get to the ground. So we'll kind of see how 2.0 plays with that. Down in the Miami area, winds are 110 at 8. A few clouds at 4,600. That does leave some very potential operations. 212. Yeah, I could. Or I could do the 8s. That's not a bad crosswind. We'll see how it progresses as we get down there. I did not do this yet, so bear with me. We would have been starting this about an hour ago, but as usual, things came up, good things, and so we're delayed. Let's go 1845. You're all going, there's no way you'll get airborne that quick. Oh yeah, there will. And we're doing the garbage can 7 departure. Sorry, I heard somebody call it that. And the garbage can has kind of stuck with me. Whoops, that's not the right one. Hang on, getting the right info in these strips here. And finally, streaming on Twitch as Flying with Mike in the remarks. That way people know, hey, what's he doing? All right. Whoop, I forgot to get rid of that. Okay. Get rid of Sim Toolkit and let's get to work. So, how many of you were paying attention? Show of hands. All right, you're lucky I can't see them. 161 passengers, 8,300 pounds of cargo. My big thing here is 0 fuel weight. That should be 128,441. It is. 22,686 or thereabouts. It is. Let's activate. Here comes the jetway without us having to toggle it or hit the J key or anything like that. It's a slick system the guys at Zibo and gals have come up with. All right, I'm going to back off a page here. And all right, so let's get to work here, shall we? We are aligned. We are family. Yeah, I know. Probably got gigged. All right, let me set this to 20, this to 40. Pardon me. All right, and we're going to plan on this one. All right. There they are. You can see the equipment showing up and all of that. I do like showing this. And Captain Morgan is at the helm fueling us. Okay, so let's get to work with yeah, we're good. Let's get the flight plan in. We'll request it. Sorry, I won't get that tune stuck in your head, but if you know it, put it in the chat. I can name that tune in one note. All right, so what we've done. Okay, now when you do this, there are a couple of files. If you follow the Zibo's information and Skymatic, you'll be able to do what we're doing here, where all of that is automatic. Okay, so really pay attention to the documentation and follow it. So, all right, so we're going to get going here. First thing I want to do is go to the departure page. Planning runway 31. We're going to hit it. And they're not going to give me the SID? Because the garbage can works. Are you kidding me? Well, I'll be okay. That's fine. Basically, we'll show it to you what the LaGuardia 7 departure is for 3-1. It's really, I mean, it's tough. So get ready for a pretty severe briefing coming. I've taken a look at it already. Yeah. And if you believe all that garbage, you're at the garbage can. So All right, so we got that in. Let's go to the route again. Legs. All right, our first fix is going to be white. However, we're going to leave it like this. Let me bring in the departure real quick. Hang on a second. I forgot to click on it here on the screen. There we go. All right. So here's where the LaGuardia 7 comes in. All right, so here we are, runway 31. You basically fly heading 314. Once you leave 6,000 feet, turn on course. You think you can handle that? I think I can. Can you? Straight out departure to 6,000 feet, then turn. Now, if ATC's on, they may do things ahead of schedule. But yeah, that's our game plan. Hang on. Okay, real quick. Weather here again. Oh, wait a minute. 1751. Okay, this could be new weather. 260 at 5, 10 miles, 8,000 scatter or few, 10,000 scattered. So pretty decent. Ceiling at 18,000. It's 16 degrees Celsius. Dew points below zero and 2983. All right, everything's set. We'll deal with the other information here in a minute. All right, so anyway, back to our departure. So basically, we're going to fly out, probably out to about where 3,000 is, make our turn to white. And that's where we'll pick it up here and check everything. White, CN, Villas. And I really do suggest going through everything. I have run into issues, and it's a lot harder to fix it in flight than right here. Where are we? Where's Big Bird? There it is. Prank, SKARP. Idols. All right, hang on. There's Idols, Spoof, Dunk, Negs, and HOAGG. All right, so we're at HOAGG, which where it turns green, we're now at an arrival. Let's take a look. Still not. Wait a minute. You know what? Let me go back. Nope, nothing there yet. Okay. Arrivals. Expect runway 8 right, 9, or 12. RNAV approaches to 8 left allowed. If we're landing on runway 12, land and hold short of runway 9. This is real world, by the way. Okay, that'll work for me. Let's see the METAR real quick, even though 080 at 7. A few clouds. Yeah, this looks like a beautiful day into Florida. So cool. All right, so now let's proceed to the Bonefish arrival from HOAGG. But of course, I'm going to start with departure arrival, Miami, and now we need to decide which runway. I'm going to plan 8 right. And since I get my left and right all screwed up at airports, I'm going to double check 8 right. Yep. And then that way we dump off, and then we'll figure out where the heck we're going to park on D concourse. On D concourse. Somewhere on D concourse. The concourse. No, D concourse. All right, hang on. I got to change something. Brink. 8 right. Okay, now the approaches will line up for that. All right. So we'll just do Why the heck is it setting us up for 2.6? Oh. Please pardon me. I'm going to be breaking here every now and then. My voice. Throwing some coffee, possibly getting the cough drops out. It's just really dry right now. Hang on. Oh, my. All right, so we're going to do the ILS to runway 8. Let's look for it. Hey, right there. ILS. No, we're not going to do the transition. We're going to do the bonefish arrival. HOAGG transition. HOAGG, bonefish, over to 8. All right, execute. Back to legs. All right, so there's HOAGG. Okay, HOAGG, Jory, Maji, Wolep. All right, that all looks good. Step, up. There we go. Step, Moji, Wolep. All right, chicken, Gildy, and I'm not too worried if it doesn't say, you know, the restrictions and all at it at this point. Energy, Wusa, Casset, all look good. We'll keep stepping to make sure. Okay, bonefish. All right, let's finish this off with Fendi, Gucci, Ramen, Madonna, Tupac. Fendi, Gucci. Wait a minute, I missed one. Oh, Blimey. Ramani. Click. I said click. Thank you. Follow we. Catch up, plane. Madonna, Tupac. All right, now that vector was what we were kind of looking for, or a discontinuity. So everything's in there. We're looking good. We'll stay on the vector. Cobra is what we hook into the ILS. So that's right here, 11 miles out. Or if you wanted to put Chrome in there, you could. That'll put you 15 miles out. All your comfort level. Okay. And then you come in. Lawn, runway. All right. Missed approaches to Barbara, which it looks like we're going to do our hold there. Now, the one thing I am not a fan of with Boeing, not Zibo, I think Zibo's one of the best add-ons that anyone who flies X-planes should have. It's free. It is, to me, and I have flown PMDG, not this iteration in these since 2020. I've flown it prior to it. It was a dynamite program. I've heard there's problems with it now. I'm only going on rumor. I don't know the specifics, but it was out of this world with FSX, A Century of Flight. I don't know if it was around for 2002. I can't remember, but it was dynamite. This program is, to me, better. Now, they'll have a couple things Zibo doesn't, but Zibo outdoes it in a lot of other things besides taking all your money to get it. And may again, as I say in every stream, thank you, Zibo, for that. All right, so let me get us back and get rid of charts. All right, I'm going to go to SimBrief. Now, if you don't have SimBrief, I don't care what sim you fly, it's worth saying shame on you. It's free, and it's not foolproof, the best ATC dispatch system out there, but for those of us that'll never be handed that packet and say, fly it. It's great. Hang on a second. All right, folks, just getting an update on the little whippersnapper here with us for a few more hours today. And a cup of coffee. But anyway, you really need SimBrief. It's not, like I said, foolproof, on every I and T dotted, all the P's and Q's in place. But for those of us in the flight sim world, it does a pretty doggone good job. Looking somebody's, there's always somebody out there trying to make a better dispatch system. I used to love Professional Flight Planner. To me, its only huge downfall, and it was a great planner, was the cost. And I get it. I'm not going to sit there and berate that they made me pay that much. I get that, to get what you got with that program, it's going to cost. And so I got that. So please, those guys over there and gals, I really liked your program. I've come back and almost started to try again, but I'm not up to date because, well, SimBrief's been around. Sorry. I'll be first to admit. But anyway, let's get our takeoff information. Sorry for that digression, and that looks good. All right, so we've got our flight plan in. Hang on, let me come back up here, do a couple little knobs to turn here back. Okay, we'll leave that on 40. But you never know what people will come up with that might make it even that much closer to reality. The aircraft are. It's only going to be time before that part of it comes to reality. Okay, go back to route. And let's go perf in. Okay, on this page, first click request. Now the fuel's already loaded, so I need to start the APU. That way I can start the passengers in. It's going to take a little bit to load 160 so people in. And there we go. We'll come back. Let's get up top here. Put that left fuel pump on, turn, and turn. On. Okay, working my way down while I'm here. Propheat's off. Anti-ice is off. Engines and wing. Engine hydraulics are on. For all intrinsic purposes, they're technically off because the engines are off, but they're in the on position. Electric pumps are off. Fuel pumps all off except our fuel pump for the APU. And cruise altitude of 36,000. We went one higher. You're curious about the landing altitude. Miami is 9 feet above sea level. You can only do it in 50-foot increments. Okay. We've got our route. We're working on our perf. We're got the altimeter started. APU is cranking up once we get the blue light, which just came on. Click, click. APU bleed. Switch to APU. And we'll start loading people here in a moment. I want to make sure we are, and then we'll go to performance, and final setup. But again, welcome aboard. Oh, and I'm going to, while we're waiting, connect up. AL, what are we today? 2039. Not an MD-11. And passengers are boarding. Oh, I hate those codes. I always recommend when you get a 76, 77, or 75 series squawk code, sorry, do the last 2 digits first. That way you don't freak people out because you accidentally bump 7600, 7700, 7500. $76.16. Cool. All right, we'll get our frequencies for up here later. So hang on. Let's make sure we're not parked in somebody's spot. Okay. And all right, let's get back to what we were doing. All right, back down here. While we're loading, I'm just going to kind of make it front and center. Okay. Our reserve for today, again, from your sim brief, if you're running the default Lido version, it's real easy. It'll actually say. Any of the others, you got to do the math. 6.4. Whoop. Okay, execute. We're going out at 37, right? 36. Cost index, everything looks good. Don't click request again. All you're going to do is have to refill in what you did. Click N1. Now, I was talking about SimBrief and how it's free. Top, once you get to your flight plan in SimBrief, your operating flight plan across the top, you'll see takeoff performance. Put in your plane. I think that's the one. Yes. And verify everything. Ooh, that doesn't look right. How about takeoff weight of 156.27? That's why I verify. And I already forgot. Okay, temperature 16, I'll go with that. 2983, it's a dry runway, calculating. All right, for this departure, we are looking at flaps 5, takeoff. Okay, we're set to takeoff. We're going to derate 37. So select temperature of 37. Actually, we're showing 14. That may have to change. Hang on. It is showing 14. Huh. Anyway, that'll be fine. And once you put that in, see where this aligns. And I think climb is a good suggestion. I'm going to go climb 1, only because that helps when we're derating these engines. That way they're not running at full, all out, push it to the limits power. You know, the airlines have, part of your ticket goes to ensuring they can make it to their big checks for the engines. Running them at 100% power or more, yes, you can go more, puts more wear and tear on them, so they try to keep them easy. Same with your climb. Everything you do is still enough to get it into the air or keep climbing, because once you reach a certain altitude, it's gonna I don't remember the term, but it's gonna switch into climb power and keep going. You in the back will maybe never know, but if you watch the gauges, that's about the only way you'll know. So all right, so that all looks good. Let's go to takeoff. Click CG, and then go to page 2. Runway wind, currently 260 at 5. I think that is wrong, but we'll go with it. Runway slope and heading. You can get this from SimBrief through Performance Tools, from your charts, or Sim Toolkit. So I can't speak for the other trackers because I really don't know. So up 0.1. Diagonal. Now for the heading, 316. I heard that somewhere before. Now it says 15 degrees. So, and that all looks good. Now we'll come back here. Set flaps 5. And let's see. We should be 141, 142, 150. Wow, we're close. I'm going to go with the 150. Just because I like a little bit more. Okay, and that, folks, gets the FMC up to date. QRH off will take those numbers out. Okay, we'll take a look here in a moment where we are in boarding. Let's do that right now. 76%. We're going to meet up with them at the same time. Okay, altimeters 2983. I think we're still on the same number. Let me double check. 2983 and 2983. Okay. Flight directors on. We just double check EPU bleeds all on. Yep, we're set. Auto throttle off. Yes. Speed 160. $316. Oh, my nose killing me. And 38 or 36,000. Okay, flight directors are on. Fuel flow reset. And minimums 400. Okay, even though we're going to continue straight out, we'll still set a minimum. Altimeters are set. Landing gear lever down, 3 green, 3 green. And parking, or let's just look down, down here real quick. Okay, parking brake set, spoilers down, flaps up, and show up on the gauge. Auto brake off. As soon as we get the, and we can go with the yaw damper on. Look at that timing. We're ready to go. Are you? All right, y'all ready? Hang on. I always like to verify she did close my door. And we're set to go. Okay, let's get off ground power.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up. Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Cleared to connect. All right, I said we'd come back for it. 118.7. It would be my guess. We'll double check.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
One 118.7. Oh, we're on 19. Hang on. There we go. LaGuardia traffic, American 2039, pushing back stand 11 for runway 31.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Okay, packs are off. Pumps are on. Okay, let's get this thing going. All right, let's get number 1 started.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay.
Disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
All right, we're good to go on with the checks. Okay. Flaps to 5. Trim 5.75. That'll be close enough. And that's about as close as you can get is close enough. Oh, I already had them on. Okay. Pitot heats are on. Taxi lights, might as well start it. Reject. Okay. Yeah, LaGuardia traffic, American 2039 at spot 11, taxi for runway 31. All right. Well, I don't see any Virga in those clouds, but then again, I haven't read the METAR here of late to see if we have any to look for. All right. I hope you all enjoy. We've got a pretty good flight ahead, about a 2.5 hour flight. Maybe borderline 3 hours. We'll see how those winds. I didn't look again. My bad. I'm trying to get more into looking at them. Not too bad. 283 at 50, but not like yesterday where they were in the hundreds. Which those of you across the pond in a couple weeks, get ready for headwinds. What you thought was a flight of X amount of hours, add about an hour sometimes to your flight back because of those headwinds. And all the traffic, but. All right, here we go. Let's make sure we're all set, ready to go up front here. Okay, ATC. You know what? I am gonna hold just to do those checks. We might be able to creepy crawl. Okay. Auto brakes reject. Turn off lights are on. Strobes coming on. We're cleared for takeoff. ATCT. That means your transponder. Make sure you're in Tara. T-A-R-A. VNAV, LNAV. I don't know how much of this will work. All right. And here we go. LaGuardia traffic, American 2039, departing runway 31, LaGuardia 7 departure. Lower ECAM. We do need to do one thing on the runway. Forgot to do it at the gate. Hang on a second, folks. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Give me a second here. Status. And engine back up. All right, we're good to go now. Timer. Power. Lights. Stable. Okay. All right. Real quick catch up. We just did the LaGuardia 7 departure. Departure red, fly to 6,000 feet, then turn on course. Have you seen any birds? I'll be honest, I wasn't looking, Godspeed. I really wasn't. So sorry about that. But yeah, no, I really did not look for any, didn't hit any. We're not preparing for a water landing. Okay, flaps are up. Let's double check the autopilot or the auto throttle here. Hang on. Get that out of reject. Flaps are up, and we're headed on. I know they say they do exist. Yeah, you are 100% right, Godspeed, but I have yet to see any. That or they're teasing us. No, no, I'm pretty sure if they're telling us, they're out there somewhere, somewhere in the sky. We just have to find them. You know, one place to look might be the Caribbean, St. Martin, Sable, or St. Bart's, since that's what they updated. The other place might be Salzburg, or Barra, the big airports they've updated. You never know. Hoping for some more. I did it again. Hang on a second, folks. It's right in the stream, wrong in stream elements, the flight today. I did part of the update, forgot the other half. All right, now it should be correct. Okay, but yeah, it is correct on the flight. So we are definitely LaGuardia to Miami. Again, the reason for this flight, and there is actually a reason, um, every month the overarching group of the Fusion Airlines, which is Virtual American, Virtual United, Lufthansa, Spirit, Easy, and now FedEx, um, they come up with focus cities where you can get extra points. And so that's why we're headed to Miami. We're going to get some points. When we fly out of there again, guess what? We'll get more points if it's still the month of April. Godspeed's asking me go into my settings and see if you have a new HUD. Huh? Well, we'll go into settings, graphics. I don't see anything here. Is there somewhere in particular you want me to go real quick? Because I don't like, let's go here. No, I don't see anything. All right, 18,000 coming up. Very bottom. Oh, very bottom. Okay. V-Sync. Where's that at? Oh, down here. Okay. New HUD. Okay. Are we supposed to check that? Because I'm not going to do it while I'm in a flight. But I'll be more than willing, time permitting, at the end of the flight to check it out. Miami would definitely be a good place to see birds. LaGuardia would have been too. I mean, we've already seen. Just going through Facebook here. Many of you may not have known. There was a 5.2 magnitude earthquake. Not sure how that's breaking news outside of San Diego. I mean, they're pretty prone to earthquakes in the California area. It's kind of like saying, hey, a tornado touched down in Oklahoma. Really? I would have never guessed. Tornadoes happen all the time in Oklahoma. All right. Well, that's the news. That's worth being maybe news. And checking YouTube. All right, let's get this up and going. You can't spell? What? All right. The Raider. Yeah, I'll check it when we get to Miami in about 2.5 hours. So that way it's no chance of it knocking me out of the sky. We've had enough of that here of late. We had a successful MD-11 flight yesterday, and a successful 747 flight Friday. You all didn't get to see it. Those of you that happened to tune in yesterday saw it on stream, the MD-11. So we'll just get on down to Miami, get on the ground, turn that whatever it is on, and go from there. The weather radar on the panel will look much better. Do what now? Huh. Well, thank you, sir. We'll definitely look at it. I'm going to come on Discord here. Anyone wants to join in? I am going to warn you, I run a tight shop here. We have young kids with some of these folks out here listening in, and they don't need to hear the barroom talk. You do it, you'll get banned. I'm just going to put it out there. If I lose viewers over it, hey, you ought to think before you talk.
So down to your right, you see the radar?
What do you mean down to my? You talking in settings or on screen here?
On screen.
Yeah, it's right here in the
Your
center.
right side where your WX is on.
Yeah.
It's gonna look much better on that radar.
Oh, when you click that?
No, to your right. Go up a little bit. Yeah. It's gonna look much better.
Oh, okay.
Like it's gonna be a different new ball game.
And I have to click that HUD button on settings to get that?
Yeah, the new HUD.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
Glad you found out for us. We appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know what'll happen. I don't know what'll happen if I do it in flight, so that's why I'm a little hesitant.
I don't want you to lose your flight.
So it's been a pretty rough day, so getting into the air is an actual surprise. I made it. So
Why has it been a rough day? Just figuring things out?
no, we the little one and mom stayed the night last night. For some reason, she is just not happy going into her crib, and I mean, she lets the world know. I'm shocked you didn't hear it where you're at.
How'd you get that video down there? That's one thing I don't know how to do.
What video?
Like if you go down to your center.
Oh, okay. Now that you can do in flight.
When your thing loads up.
That showing the door, it's a lot easier to see it this way. Yeah, what you're seeing is the cockpit door right up against the levers You come in this door and the galley is this door. And I can switch views too. It's actually a gauge. There's the door you would have, or the galley door, and the door you come in there. And you can see it open when you're at the gate. Go over to, hang on, cruise. Okay, and click over to settings, displays, was it systems? There's your HUD, by the way, if you want the HUD that pilots use for landing, you've all heard about. Not the weather thing Godspeed was saying, but hang on. I think the music's up a little high for you all to hear.
I don't know why you have that on.
What, the music? Okay. I figured some people, you know, might like it. But flight deck cam. Just make sure it says yes.
Don't your videos get like
These are non copywritten. So I don't get strikes on them. And if I do get one, usually it's not to where it's an actual strike, but a warning, and then I just toss the music. It's supposed to be non-copyright, but you never know what these artists, you know, contract deals they may pull off, and then they have to throw that in. So I just run something in the background to help people. Because some of these flights, like yesterday's, can get long. So
I put those 747s in yesterday.
I heard. I saw that. Do you see the difference?
Oh, no.
No flight engineer panel. There's no flight engineer panel on the Dash 8. The 200, you're going to do some work. Which, to be honest, I like. But not everybody does.
So I'll be flying the Dash 8 a lot then, huh?
Well, it depends. You know, it's not hard to learn. I mean, all you got to do is let the checklists run and just figure out where things are. Watch a couple tutorial videos. They'll really help you, and especially if you want to use the SIVAs. They'll really help you with that. So, but anyway, we are looking at, what do we got? 2 hours? Almost 2 hours. Oh, and Miami Center came up.
I didn't feel like flying back to St. Louis yesterday.
Oh, you flew back, huh?
No, I didn't feel like it, but there's no 738 flights available from where I was at.
Huh. Well, that's kind of weird.
Because I think the only one that was available was the St. Louis. And I was like, man, I've been there a lot already.
Hey, what's wrong with St. Louis? Great town. Just bring your
Great
armor.
airport, too.
Just bring your armor with you.
Just tired of flying there. I like the airport, though.
Yeah, the airport's fairly safe.
Fairly safe?
Yeah, fairly. From all the violence in St. Louis. Hopefully the new mayor will do as she says, but I'll be honest, I ain't holding my breath on it.
I don't know why, like, I'm getting, like, lags every now and again on your video.
Yeah, why am I getting that? What's going on here?
Like, it just keeps spinning.
Yeah, I'm still showing you where the HUD is on my phone. Ah, that's why. Ha! I'm having internet issues possibly, or Twitch is giving us troubles. I just happened to
Or
look at
all
my
those.
speeds down there. So, real quick, if you want to be able to watch this flight in its entirety and we drop off, which could happen, check us out on our YouTube channel. Here it comes to you, folks. And this video should make it up. But yeah, it looks like we're either having Twitch or internet or both issues.
Are these planes on Skunkworks updater?
I'm going to go ahead and turn this off then. Yeah, we are really doing crappy.
Do you know, Mike?
I'm sorry, what was that?
These 747s, are they on Skunkworks updater?
The 200, I think the Dash 8 is too. Not 100% sure on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I went ahead and killed the music for now. But again, if for any reason the stream disconnects or we're having troubles, check us out at our YouTube channel. The link is in the chat room.
About ready to spawn in the same Martin just to see if there are birds there.
There you go. I didn't notice them a couple days. Was I in 2.0 or beta 2 though? I don't think I was.
I think you're still on 1.4.
That could have been too. No, I probably was 2.0, but I hadn't done beta 2 yet because that's when I started having issues.
Have you seen how the storm looks yet on 2.0?
A storm? Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
like
several storms out here.
In 2.0?
Oh yeah, they look great.
Like at night?
That I haven't done. I don't like flying at night because when I go to pictures like this, you can't see the plane. All you see is maybe the lights. However, those of you don't go by me on the flying at night, the airports really stand out better at night.
I think you could actually see better at nighttime now. At least I did last time I did.
I always have. I could find those airports a lot farther out than I can in the day.
No, I meant like in the skies, like you could see around you.
That's possible.
It used to be like really dark. So you couldn't hardly see anything besides a little bit of stars every now and again, but now you can see a lot more. I wish they would do that firework thing again.
Oh, I
cool.
remember that was cool.
That should be.
That
like
was Vegas, wasn't it?
It's everywhere in the United States.
Oh, really? I thought it was just Vegas. And I haven't checked Vegas to see if they still have that building with FS Expo on it. X-Plane Expo.
They do.
Oh, they do?
I just flown in there the other day. Yeah.
That was great. So
a lot of fun. Redo the tower though.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of fun stuff for you in X-Plane 12. A lot cheaper and to me better flight dynamics. So, but to each their own. I am not here until they start paying me to sell it. I'm only here to tell you my opinion, which I think is better than their biggest competitor. All right, we're just about to empty the center tank. And we've got about an hour and 40 minutes to go. That's cool because I do have a church meeting at my normal time today. So I think we'll get in on the ground. Plenty of time to grab something to eat before getting out to it. This is very disconcerting. I get, tired of this with Twitch. That they can't keep the system decent. All right, so we got a couple of aircraft out ahead of us. I gotta first find us. Where are we hiding? Holy mackerel, where are we hiding? Oh, there we are. Okay, so we got something called DLR in front of us, a Watkins flight in front of us, and again, Miami Center and now approach is up. Is there something going on today in Miami?
Always something going on in Miami.
Not normally.
Wow, why does the water look better down too? Still don't see any birds yet.
Oh, sorry about that. I was blowing out the nose. Gotta love it. All right, so we're getting ready to scamper. We're south of DC. Probably gonna go more over Norfolk. Well, no, Richmond, I think, than. But anyway, I'm not sure if we'll play with Miami or not.
There's no birds. It's all lies.
No birds, huh?
I bet there's something special I gotta do to activate these things.
I have no idea. You would think they'd tell us. All right. Well, so far, wow. How am I getting so many kilobytes per second? I thought I was set at a hard number where it shouldn't go over that. I'm not going to go check either.
Airport looks pretty sweet at nighttime.
Where does?
St. Martin.
Oh, I'll bet. Go ahead. Try a night landing at St. Bart's.
Nope.
Okay, Saba.
Nope.
Damn it. Be right back.
This lightning, wow, dude.
All right, sorry about that. It's a windy day here in the gateway. Doors keep slamming, which of course does not help a little one that doesn't want to sleep sometimes. Any birds yet?
No.
Except for the one behind the wheel flying the plane?
Man.
Yeah, I really don't know. I'm actually just looking for the clouds to look a lot like this latest splash screen that came out with Beta 2 with the A330. Or at least that's what mine has. The
I liked it
clouds look...
better without the plane.
I liked it too without it, but I also like it in there. But, you know, to each their own. Most people will say, I don't like Airbus. To me, a plane is a B1RD. Bird. Doesn't matter what it is.
This lightning looks a lot better than what it used to.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever been into Princess Jillian at night.
During a thunderstorm?
Or well, lightning has been, well, I haven't. That would have been 1.4 when we had the big lightning with going into Memphis. That was unreal. So I if they've improved on that, oh my gosh. So all right, let's take a look here. Again, if for any reason you missed something in the stream because whatever's going on with Twitch, right now something's going on. They're lagging the crap out of our video and or out of the stream. And thankfully, the video usually does not get hosed. All you got to do is just head over to YouTube later today or tonight, and I'll have it posted so you can watch it in its entirety there. Tell you, it sure makes that decision process to go over to YouTube full time. Sometimes they make it real easy.
What's the second place that you would choose with birds?
For birds?
US?
In the U.S., I mean, any coastal airport, especially JFK, LaGuardia, since we all know LaGuardia had the famous one. Miami.
It's LaGuardia's airport ID.
KLGA. Here's a tip. It's in the title of the video.
Hey, you know what? Wow.
Sorry, dude. That was right out over the fence. Oh, you cracked me up there. Cracked me up.
I just thoroughly read it too. I was like, it's not there.
You're right there in the
Yeah.
title. Oh. Let me see if it's still showing where it was before.
And I pretty much think all your planes are going to change too with that weather HUD.
Oh, I'm waiting for the mass download when that happens of new versions. Matter of fact, I know I've heard rumors Tolus has something out.
Today.
I'm looking at oh no, these are still from the 6th. From the 6th. So, nope. Whoever gave me that rumor, shame on you.
I heard they were working on A220.
I need to do something with them. Test out the 330 here again. Something just didn't seem right with it. But again, I never got to fly it. It kept, that was the one that kept going backwards on me till I moved to a different gate. So, and then they deleted my post or whatever the heck they did when I put a post in their help form, whatever it's called. That's okay. No offense taken yet.
Why is there a bus driving on the water?
A bus on the water. Don't know. Unless there was supposed to be a bridge. This in St. Martin?
No, LaGuardia.
Huh, I didn't see that. And I will say, LaGuardia is a fun airport, though, to fly in and out of. You know, I did finally fly the expressway approach for 3-1. It's not called that today, but it was fun to fly. It's a neat little airport to get in and out of. But they have short runways than what most people are used to.
And tons of water to stop them.
There you go. You know, the one thing I haven't tested yet, the what do they call it? The EMAS, which is basically, for those not familiar, on a lot of airports now, they have this system in place from the edge of the runway out so far to protect aircraft from going into expressways or roadways, much like the one in Chicago did many years ago. Where basically if an airplane gets on it, it starts breaking the concrete down to stop it. And it's kind of like a runaway ramp for trucks, except much shorter and built for airliners. I gotta try that, see if it works.
About ready to write Austin a little letter.
Go for it. He loves letters. Oh, something tells me his little airplane's going to be on final approach here soon. All right, looking up at the clock, hour and 30 minutes. Is that true? Yeah, about an hour and 30 minutes. Cool. Now let's take a look down in the Miami area, see if all right, we are over. Oh, heck, I don't know. We're south of Norfolk now. All right, why'd we start to climb? Unfortunately, no thunderstorms in our area today. Oh wow, that was really weird. Okay. Let me get everything else put back where it was. Oh, dang it. I forgot to start ACARS. Oh, they got a freebie off me. And I was gonna start it earlier than expected. Dang it. Oh well. They got a freebie. That irritates me.
Yeah, these birds really irritate me.
You can't find them.
It's like trying to look for Wells Waldo.
Waldo?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there's Waldo right there.
What?
Oh, that's so irritating.
Yes, it is.
So now I won't get the extra points. Oh well. We'll still enjoy the flight.
Right, Key West.
Key West could be a good place, yeah, but I don't know what kind of birds they have put in.
Hey, at this point, I'd be happy just to see one, okay?
My only suggestion is try the X-Plane Discord channel. I'm not guaranteeing they'll say anything, but don't go on their voice channels because believe me, they don't help you. So, but if you go maybe and ask the question in the general, they might be forthcoming. Although there's a few of them that'll say, well, check this and that you should have read, and it's not there. Oh, that is such a bummer. Nope. Oh, well. I'd do a claim, but it won't help me get the bonus points, and they may or may not even approve it. So, we'll just plan to refly it at another date. The North Carolina Outer Banks. Ooh, what airport is that? Is that Cherry Point? That is. Oh, wow.
just so depressing.
Still no birds.
Nope.
Ah, we finally have a green light on the stream, so whatever was going on has been fixed. I have no idea who to blame it on.
It says birds.
It's those birds you're looking for. You're causing troubles here.
Yeah, it says they're not guaranteed to spawn at an airport.
Nothing is guaranteed. And we're down to an hour to Miami. How about that? Out of curiosity, we'll look. All right, so we are looking at the 8s. Variable at 5 there. Ugh, that makes it a very hot, sticky day there.
Dayton has 3 runways now?
Always has.
I sworn it only had 2.
Well, you got the 2 main parallels, but then there's a 1836. If you ever go up for the Dayton Air Show, from that runway to the ramp is where all the airplanes usually go. When they had the expo show. Now, what they do today, I don't know. I don't even know.
I was a kid when I was there, so.
It was great. I loved going to it. It was second largest in the world, usually. Whoa. Only to Paris. And every other year, Farnborough and Dayton Air Show flipped to be the second largest. Really was cool. And that was the only time I ever got to see the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels perform at the same show.
Were they flying the formations with the Angels?
No. Separate shows. The Canadian Snowbirds were there too. That's a little... I mean, they're good, don't get me wrong. So please, Canucks out there, don't try to trash talk me. Too many planes in the air. I think they had 10, and that was overkill. But the Thunderbirds were, I mean, it was to me the stupidest thing to do to put the two there. It's great we all got to see both, don't get me wrong. But Blue Angels just blew them out of the water at how precise they are. The Thunderbirds are not. They fly in any maneuver any pilot could fly, just tighter requirements. Where the Blue Angels, not necessarily. And they light the air up. I'll take watching the Blue Angels any day over the Thunder Chickens.
I'd love to ride them one.
I think I'd prefer the F-18 to ride into instead of the F-16.
So I could cross it off my bucket list check.
But I already know it's not going to happen, so I don't have to worry about it.
Not with that attitude.
That is exactly right.
They could get a call from, what's his name? Tom Cruise tomorrow. Be like, hey, let me take you up in a plane.
Sure, let's go up in your P-51.
Yeah. Or what was that other one that he's allowed to fly?
I thought that was the only one. Or
No,
does he
he's
actually
flown-
have a Tomcat?
No, he doesn't have a Tom. It's a jet, like a military jet. But I think it's like one of them trainers,
Oh, okay.
military jets.
Well, I'll do the P-51.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun too. Being dumped out of it though, something goes wrong.
Do what?
I said not being dumped out of it, something horrible goes wrong.
Oh, then you
That
get to
won't be
ride
too
off.
fun.
You did a sky jump. As long as you're not below 1,000 feet. But yeah, no, I don't expect Tom to give me any calls here soon. I somehow don't think my schedule would match up with his.
I'd make it work.
But yeah, I miss the Dayton Air Show.
I haven't really been there since I was a kid. I'm sure it'd be a lot funner now though.
I don't know. I really do hope they still have it the way it was. Scott Air Force Base here, looks like a normal day on the ramp. It is just, except they let the public on it, is what it looks like. It's just gotten, they can't even get their own Air Force aircraft in there, which is sad. And I think it's because they just don't try. I mean, it's military airlift. Come on, they ought to be able to get there. When the general says, Chop, chop, get your butts here. But, oh well. I prefer watching it now from afar, not even go into that rat race. That's why I hope Dayton hasn't changed, but I'm sure it has. Yeah, it just really, and the sad thing is, across the river at an airport on the western end of town, they get more military aircraft than Scott Air Force Base can for their air show. A civilian airport. So it's been. Go ahead.
What? Can you get a 736 into Telluride?
A 736?
Yeah. Or those just made for business jets?
I mean, runway lengthwise, you should be able to. Problem is, you're like 8,000 feet above sea level, which in the real world could make that problematic getting out. But I don't know. You know, I've never obviously tried. And I do remember an incident where a 747-400 coming into Wichita, can't remember if it was for McConnell or Wichita International, landed at Cessna's airfield. They were able to get stopped.
Barely.
And I'm assuming they had to offload the plane completely, and whatever fuel they had on, they probably had to take off with to keep the weight down to get over to whatever airport they were supposed to really fuel up. I mean, they were on some short runways. But yeah, they missed. If you ever look at a sectional map of Wichita, you'd see there are a lot of airports there. And I could see where the confusion comes in, but I can also say, why didn't the other numbskull next to you notice it? But it's no different than what I told you a couple days ago with Seattle. They've landed on taxiways there because they look like runways. Newark had one. Almost took out a plane.
I think I heard about that one.
Yeah, that one I know made the news. Denver has had them. When was it at Stapleton? The funniest one is the pilots were aiming for Denver, be it Stapleton or the new airport, and mistook Colorado Springs for Denver, and landed.
4 runways?
And landed at Colorado Springs.
Is it 4 runways?
Well, if it was in the day of Stapleton, they wouldn't have had all those runways. The new airport's been around 20 years, I think. The old one was pretty close to the downtown area, I think. Supposedly, I drove by it. I didn't see it. But then again, I may have been more concerned of, am I in the right lane? Am I going the right direction on the interstates as I traveled through Denver? Am I going to hit the car in front of me? So I may have missed it because of that. But no, the pilots mistook Colorado Springs for Denver. Yeah. So yeah, that goes on, you know, it goes on more than we want to really know. And here's the one that really got me, and this isn't a wrong runway landing. They're actually, back in the day, we're talking 70s, maybe mid 70s, a scheduled 737 flight from Denver, at that time definitely Stapleton Airport, to Colorado Springs. Now, if you look at it on the map, that's only 15 minutes flying time. Ended up being a big, well, not the flight being a big ordeal. One of them crashed, and it turned into one of the longest running investigations as to what caused it. And took two more crashes and finally a safe landing from the same issue to finally figure it out nearly 10 or 15 years later. Definitively say that was the cause.
What was it?
A 737, there was an actual, back in the mid 70s, a scheduled flight from Denver to Colorado Springs.
Yeah, what was it? What was the cause?
The cause was something in the rudder. A valve was freezing up or seizing up, and they could never recreate it in anything else until they had two more go down because of it. And they killed everybody on board. So if you don't have a pilot or a co-pilot to tell you what the heck's going on, how can you definitively say that's what you really think the culprit is? They finally had one happen. The pilot actually got the plane landed, and they were able to fully say and see what that valve was doing. Don't ask me, that's engineering stuff way above how they do all of it. It's a great show on Mayday, if you ever watch that show. Great show.
Is that the one that landed on that drag strip?
No. They actually made it into Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's just Mayday, if you're not familiar, is a great TV show. It basically takes these crashes that have occurred and walks you through the investigation as to what happened. This one crash in Colorado Springs took nearly 20 years to solve. Most of the time they can do it within a year or so. They did the Concorde, Tenerife, they did one, where was it in the UK? Manchester? Can't remember. Detroit, a couple of them there. It's just amazing to watch how they solve them. And that's all it's doing. The show isn't solving it. They're just showing you how the experts were able to get to the bottom of it. Guam was one, Philippines, Tokyo, all over the world. And they just take one incident and start showing you how they pieced it all together.
I have to watch this show.
I know it's on a channel called Quest. It used to be in the middle of the night. I don't know what time it's on now. I haven't been able to find it since long ago. Smithsonian has air disasters. It shows like that. All right, where are we in? Oh, we're getting close to Miami.
Is it called air disasters?
That's one. Mayday is another show.
Is that
And they're
Canadian?
the same type of shows.
Is it Canadian?
No, they do any. I don't know if they're in the, if that's where it's actually made. But
Mayday is a Canadian documentary television program.
Okay, but yeah, they cover them all.
Hijackings, bombings, and other disasters.
And they do boats, trains, not just aircraft.
Automobile.
I mean, I watched one on, it was down in Greece, how the cruise ship came aground.
Oh, it says it's on Prime Video.
Oh, there you go. I don't have Prime Video, so I still can't watch it.
I do.
So yeah, they're really good shows. I'll tell you one, and I don't know how Mayday did it. Air Disaster might have been where I saw it. The Concorde. That was probably one of the most fascinating investigations I ever watched. There was a lot into that, into the making of that disaster before the disaster ever happened.
But yet they flew it anyway.
No, it wasn't that. Well, the tire, we all know, the tire blew, fragments went into the fuel, and that's what ignited. Do you know that tire, they had the same kind of issue 5 times at Dulles, and it never did that? Where the tires blew, but no fireball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I learned that out of that. I'm like, and they figured that out. They figured out where the piece of FOD came from. And I don't know what came out of that. That blew the tire, that literally blew the plane up. Did you know this? The aircraft caught fire. We've all, if you haven't, it's on the, you can find it real easy. The fireball in the sky. Le Bourget was 10 miles away, they said. There's no way that plane could ever make, the wing was melting that fast. They couldn't go 10 miles to a runway. That's, I mean, it was just, what a disaster. And again, I don't think the makers or anything like that ever could have seen that happening. All of those pieces coming together to cause that. But yeah, 5 times they blew a tire in Dulles, and it never erupted in a fireball. Oh, they also, Mayday also did TWA Flight 800. So
I might have to try to find a watch at.
yeah, they, like I said, I love watching these not so much the recreating, but how the experts figure it out. There's still questions in my mind about TWA 800, and it's compliments of our illustrious news media in the United States. And I think some misinformation until they can definitively tell me parts of the incident, why I shouldn't believe what two pilots said they saw. And to me, they've got more credibility than most people watching something or seeing something. They were military pilots. So, but anyway, sometimes the media does more to make an investigation worse than letting them just do their job. All right, we are coming up to Duke. And then I think we're going to be pretty close to entering the... and we'll have just a little further to go till Miami Center. And by the way, we have a little over 45 minutes to go. So we're getting there. The bad thing is it doesn't count for Virtual American. Yours truly forgot to start the ACARS system, the Pegasus system for him, so we don't get credit for this flight. We'll have to refly or fly somewhere else. But we get credit with you all. You all saw us do it. Albeit, been watching the connection here, and man, it's been all over the place. So, anyway, and by the way, if you all know how to get birds to show up in X-Plane 12, I know Godspeed would really love to know how you did it.
Yeah, I would.
I am looking forward when we get on the ground in Miami. Godspeed's told me a couple things to try here. And we're going to do it on stream just to see what the heck he's talking about. And we'll move some weather sliders around to see if we can't gen up some weather to see what he's talking
I was
about.
going to say you might have to do that too.
So, because there's no weather in Miami, so to speak. Other than the fact it's probably hot and humid. Oh, wait, that's every day of the year. Oh, another place you might want to look for birds is out by like Nassau, Bahamas. That would be another place. I just don't know, where they would be hiding. And I don't know if I've seen anything in the X-Plane forums about it. I have no idea what they're showing off on Elevatech, so I don't even know if that's the 1302. Huh, that's the one. Let me see what they're saying I can do here. In the profile tab. Not certain what they're talking about at Elevatech with this latest update. But or maybe that's what they're talking about. Let's find out. I don't see anything. Oh well.
I wish it was Friday.
I'd say it's Friday somewhere, but no, that's 5 o'clock. All right, let's get into this flight because we are getting very close. $130. What is it? 132,200. Oh, excuse me. All right, so when they yell at us, we'll be ready. How far out till top of descent? 200 miles. Okay. Let's go through this thing, get it ready to go. All right, we've got our hopeful arrival in 8, right. Center pumps are off. Let's get our descent winds set up. VNAV. What are we on? Okay. Forecast 18,000, requesting winds. If SemBrief has winds for us, we'll get them. If they don't, it'll tell you after we click load. Oh, it looks like it does. All right. Execute. Sometimes you won't have winds. That's just sometimes the way it goes. All right, let's go back to VNAV. 200 miles out. All right, we have all of the information in here, so we're ready to go. I'll let y'all get another look at it. Some of y'all may not have seen it. Come on, Mike, click the right box. There we go. HOAGGs, and then we start in on HOAGG. Bonefish 2. So we'll be flying home. You know, you can just kind of follow the route. I thought we had a, no, we don't. Okay. Until we get to Tupac, we descend just staying above altitudes. Tupac's 5,000 feet, and then we'll, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Tupac's 5,000 feet, and then we'll turn in on it. All right, over to the ILS. Some people are in studies for this. So here's your top line is your frequencies. When you see D-ATIS, you can actually look that up in the US and get the ATIS by simply clicking this link that I'm going to put in the chat box. Click that, put the facility ID in, and it'll give you what the ATIS currently is broadcasting at that airport. So if you see D-ATIS on the chart, look for it. Now, if you're abroad in any other country, you're not, unless you know how to find them, I don't, you're not going to be able to get their ATIS. Unless VATSIM's on, and that's only if the controller took that extra step. However, for us, we need to make sure 110.3 is in the nav, 92 degrees for the final approach. Lawn, which is 6 miles from the runway, 1,500 feet, and we're going to set 442 for our decision altitude. All right, 3,000 to Copra, and then we start down the ILS. Planning 1 minute 25 seconds. Oh, sorry about that. 1 minute 25 seconds from lawn to the missed approach. And then there's our minimums again. For 442 feet or higher for the broken or overcast ceilings, 1 mile visibility or more. Otherwise, you got to choose another runway. Or if there's a Cat 2, Cat 3 approach, shoot that. All right, so there you have it. That's what we have today. Where are you, charts? There you go. All right, and for today, if you go to SimBrief again, I highly recommend this. Go to your operating flight plan for the flight, click landing performance, double check your numbers, hit calculate, and it'll give you a rough idea. Right now we're planning 149 down, auto brakes 3. I don't know if I'm gonna do auto brakes 3, but I'll probably do 2. We'll see. And gives you how far down the runway you'll go. Okay. So for now, 170 miles out, or when ATC tells us to go down. Surprised, oh, I know why Auto ATC isn't saying anything. ATC is alive and well. All right, HOAGG. Okay, 24,000. 16. Oh my, yeah, we'll have to come off Jory, then start our descent. Okay. All right, I hope your Monday has treated you well. I know many of you, your day is wrapping up and getting ready to head for bed. Some, the day is close at hand to ending. And hope you've all had a great day. Some, Tuesday's getting ready to start. So, hope y'all are having a great day. And I'm glad you're able to spend some time here at Flying with Mike. Even though Flying with Mike will not get credit at Virtual American for the flight because that guy next to me didn't start ACARS. Always good to blame it on the person that's not there. Yeah, that guy right there. Oops. Okay. Well, okay, that's why it didn't get started. But again, I really do hope you've all had a great time. Great flight, great time here with original Godspeed, and hope you all enjoy. He's out looking for birds in X-Plane 12, so if you know how to find them, he'd love to hear it. When we get on the ground, he's going to walk me through a couple things. Supposedly, we can get enhanced weather here. So we're going to find out what he's talking about. I don't want to activate it in flight. Well, even though I'm not going to get credit for it, still, I'd like to get credit with you all landing. So that's why I'm a little hesitant. So a little bit about me real quick before ATC yells at me. I've been in the flight simming world about 25, 28 years, somewhere in that ballpark. I started with either FS98 or 2000 and progressed through all of them to FSX. Did not jump to Lockheed, but in the year 2020 jumped to X-Plane. And wished I'd have done it earlier. But what I had seen earlier, I really didn't like. So it was really tough for me to pull that trigger. I finally did it with a new computer, and boy, wow. And now continuing with X-Plane 12. And now that we're in 2.0, I can even go double wow. It is just an amazing sim. The aircraft we're flying is the Zibo 737. I think I'm gonna hurt a lot of people here. It's better than PMDG. And I flew PMDG a lot. Might have been the 777 or the 74, but I still flew the 737. And I'm here to tell you, this plane is hands down to me a lot better. There are features that PMDG has available to it through that sim that we don't. However, besides the price tag, I think it's just better. What Zibo gives you is just out of this world. And it's just amazing to fly it. And by the way, it's free. Yeah, you heard me. I'm letting you all get off the ground because you forked over a lot of money, not only uh, to get into the air, but then to add PMDG to it. Yeah, it's free.
And so are the level ups.
And then this other little company came along, Level Up, and they're not bad either. Not bad at all. So we're giving it the run into Miami. I'm really shocked. I think we're in their territory.
Many start
Oh, oh, I see. They're not even up. They saw me coming. Run for the hills. Oh. All right. Well, looks like we get choice of runway there. I had a feeling something was up, and that's usually why a center and approach comes up this early. So, but anyway, hey, you know, to each their own. All right, so at Jory, let me take a look at my chart. We need about 35 miles. So, okay. I got my point when I'll start descent, unless Auto ATC chimes in to tell us. Head on down early. All right, currently about 30 minutes from the arrival airport. And, oh, we got a heavy behind us coming in from Heathrow. Oh, actually a super. I love that they call them supers. Anyway, we'll be on the ground before him, hopefully. I'm kind of curious if Auto ATC is going to kick in and tell us to descend or not. I'm not a huge fan of Auto ATC. I know some of you all just think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Nah. Nope. I already know my descent point. And, yeah. We'll leave it at that.
I was actually trying that just to like try to get used to VATSIM.
VATSIM's not terrible.
And knowing what to say and stuff.
Yeah. The only thing I can help people out with, X-Plane has a new type of ATC. If you fly a flight with it, you start picking up the jargon, which will really help you when you transition to a real person until he decides to go gibberish on you. And that's where I go. I don't even use that beyond ATC stuff. You got to pay for that. Comes default with X-Plane 12. This is a really good ATC system. We've actually flown it a couple times here on channel.
Are you talking about say intentions?
Who? Oh, yeah, say intentions, yeah.
I was like, the other one's for Microsoft, I thought.
Oh, either of them you got to pay for, so don't need it. Well, I've also been in the aviation world for quite a while. So, Actually, I think we're going to go ahead, kill the music. There we go. And get ready for descent. Once we get off Jory, go about 30 miles or so, I may start my descent. But yeah,
You know,
auto AT. Do what?
if they added the Northern Lights in here, man, I'd be so happy.
Oh, that would just be so cool.
I would be dedicated to X-Plane for the rest of
Well,
my life.
the last time know for sure I've seen them was Century of Flight. I cannot swear to you if I saw them in FSX, and I know there are some people out here still flying FSX. And I just can't remember them, but I know they were in a Century of Flight. 2004, for those that don't know. But yeah, that was the creepiest, freakiest thing to watch come alive in 2004. Took me a while to figure out it was the Northern Lights. So,
I know there's a proper name for it, but
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and not long after going to FSX, we took a cruise to Alaska. Never saw them. Plus, it was cloudy though most of the time. Total transparency. It was cloudy most of the time.
Were you really looking for them?
Oh, we would have loved to have seen them up there.
I mean, no, like, were you like actually really trying to look for them?
Yeah, we would have loved to have seen them in Alaska. But unfortunately, like I said, it was cloudy. We took that cruise right before Labor Day. And that's when the weather begins to turn rather abruptly to winter. And any of them out there, there's a kind of wind. They've got, I think, a name for it. And it was beginning to go through Anchorage, headed for where we were in Juneau, Ketchikan area. And we had a great day in Ketchikan, but Juneau was just, whoa. But yeah, we never got to see them. I would have loved to have seen that. Because from what I hear, up that far north, you can actually hear them crackling and all. I guess that's what they do. I've never heard them. I've seen them, but I've never heard them. In Wisconsin's where I saw them. Middle of nowhere, next to Mayberry. No. Matter of fact, Andy Griffith might have been actually the police in that area. It's that far out in the middle of nowhere. Problem is, he was in North Carolina. This was Wisconsin. Another great TV show, if any of you have ever seen it, Andy Griffith. Da, 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 da.
My parents used to watch that a lot.
That was a good show.
I think my mom still does, actually.
Be right back. I'm trying to figure out why the little one's crying. All right. That looks like the next cold front's coming through St. Louis as we speak. It's getting chilly. By the way, the little one just being a little one. Who knows why she was all kind of screamy.
Is she teething?
Oh, she's already got 4 of her teeth in the 2 front, top and bottom. But whether the rest are starting, their trek in, who knows. The hard part, though, is putting her to bed. You walk into the bedroom and that girl's at night starts screaming. So there's a lot more to her story, so that I'll leave with her mom and her dad. So anyway, but anyway, we're on our way. About ready to start down. Let's see, 40 miles. Yeah, we'll start setting up. All right, 24. The hard part with some of these planes, I should be able to set the 5,000, which is what the last fix is, but they don't necessarily hold up at these intermediates, and that doesn't matter what sim you're in, just the way they are. And I can't remember if Zibo was like that. But we'll show you how to get these, because the same thing with PMDG. So those of you that fly on that in the dark world over there can see what to do here to get them to descend. All right, do
you ever put in the altimeter pressure?
Not yet. 18,000 is when you switch into it. All right, so we're set there. We're set on the descent. All right, now there's a couple ways to make the 737 descend. Good thing is I have a different FMC than most of you are used to seeing. I like this one because it shows you when you get, there are some that they'll set it up this way. I like it to default here. And I'll show you. Okay, it's the VNAV switch. You either have VNAV or the other style will be something like climb, cruise, descent. So basically go to your VNAV page, then next page till you get to your descent page. Again, if you have those 3 switches, climb, cruise, and descent, just click descent and you'll be on this page. Click forecast. Always make sure your transition level's correct. In Europe especially, well, right now most of that European traffic is beginning to wane off for the night, but from like this time to about 6 hours earlier, those controllers know when you set it differently, and you got to know your transition levels, and their ATISs will tell you that. Here, 18,000, the whole country, doesn't matter.
You mean I've been doing it wrong this whole entire time?
What do you mean?
Descend.
But yeah, if you fly over in Germany, oh my gosh, you could go from city to city and they have different transition levels. So set your transition level, get your descent winds, come back to your descent page, and I did set it right.
Yeah, I just been like nosediving it. That's how I descend.
Why do I not see descent? All right, well, let's just click altitude intervene. And that'll start the descent. You could also do it from down here. There should have been a descend now, and I'm not sure why it wasn't there. So, and it will start down. And then it should, now I will have to progress it down. Look, Auto ATC came on to tell us, descend via the Bonefish 2 into Miami. I am going to set my altimeter, but not activate it. 3014. One thing I do like about the 7.3, you can preset your altimeter. So when you drop below 18, just click standard and it becomes the altimeter. I like that. All right, let's go ahead, start setting up our radios. All right, the ILS for 8 right is 110.3. Little different looking radio stack here. Very simple to use. Set your mode. Make it say ILS, GLS, or VOR. We want ILS 110 tree. Send it up top. Now, if you want, you could put 13.9, and that'll kind of give you an idea how far out you are. It is, what is Dolphin? About 4 miles from the airport. So give or take, it's going to help you know where the airports are. Now, if you're in super bad weather, you could set another 110.3. And what that would allow you to do is a 0-0 landing, otherwise known as auto land. Not auto ATC, auto land, where the plane will land itself. You almost have to, because you're coming down to where it's literally 0-0. 0 feet, 0 visibility. Technically, this runway, you can't do that. But you could set it up to help you all the way down. This is a flight sim. Means you can do what you want. Real world is a different place. Finally, what do you think we got to set? Yeah, our course. 09, is it 09 or 08? I forgot. 092. Now, the reason you see this line, that is not the localizer. That is probably Dolphin. Yeah. Dolphin VOR, which is 87 miles away. Which is, by the way, let's just say it, Miami International. Okay. Back to the Bonefish. Where are we? Chicken. Where's chicken? All right, we need, I'm going to go ahead and set 17. Okay, and Galid will take over the speed and make sure we stay at, oh, we're getting fast. Hang on. Okay, we'll slow to 280 by Galid. or GELD, I guess. I was looking at it differently, sorry. So just hit speed intervene, slow it down to 280. And we'll take this all the way past energy to Casket, and then slow to 250. All right, what other checks do we need to be doing? We're at 23, so I don't know if I am going to get that ability. Hey, we did. And speaking of which, are we 10 minutes out? We are indeed. Put your predictions in if you'd like. Watch this be -2 for my landing because I'm not on the ACARS system. All right, we're down to 280. All right, GLD, it's K. Let's take this on down to 12. All right, we're coming up on 18,000. That's transition, so we'll hit the standard button here in a minute. And we need some speed brakes, I think. All right, here we go. Transition. Double check METAR 3014, 10 minutes ago. Good deal. Okay, we're headed for 12,000. All right, I am going to get my CTAF. $118.3. Okay, we're going to be at 11,000 by Bonefish. Fendi will be fine. Gucci, then we'll start our descent at Fendi so we can make Romani at 6,000, Madonna 8,000, then 6,000, then 5,000. So again, hope you all have had a great Monday. We're coming into Miami, um, and hope you all enjoy. Probably straight ahead, if we can see an airport, is Fort Lauderdale. I don't, unless that's it right off the directly, slightly off the nose. There's Fort Lauderdale, and we're coming in Palm Beach. No, nope, that's not Palm Beach. Boca Raton, maybe? Anyway, we're that close. Okay, guess what? We are very close. You can now see the airport on the display. At Fendi, we'll begin our descent to 5,000. There's Fort Lauderdale. Wife was telling me she just over the just before spring break, her and her sister went down. Uh, I would love to see how they did this, but where the cargo ships come into the port, which is right west of the airport, the cargo cranes are lowered so that the approach paths, departure paths aren't obstructed. I'd like to see that. I think that's awesome. There's a similar kind of thing with street lights here in our area at one of the airports, and it fascinates me that they can do that. How they do their work, though, is another story. Make sure we start our descent. All right, we'll help it along. All right, I think we're going to make that. Ooh, we're getting a little fast. Okay, no more speed restrictions on the chart. All right, there's Opalaka Executive right over here. Miami straight ahead. All right, let me run through this ILS fee card. Let's get that set. Okay, 145 flaps 30. Okay. Huh. Wonder why the buildings aren't showing up. I hope they show up when we get there.
Are the batteries on the back of this panel
Huh?
for the 747? Is it on the back panel?
Are you trying to get to the battery switch?
Yeah.
Look on your flight engineer panel. Going from left to right, just kind of slowly move over. You'll go past the generators for the engines, and right after that, you should see battery and standby power.
Let me get back into X-Plane. I got mad. I was about ready to get off Discord. I was trying to find it.
All right, so here we go. Okay, flip this into ILS. Got it. Okay, that way I still have a track to it. All right. 110.3.0.92 verified. 110.3.0.92. Good. All right, we're coming up to Tupac at 5,000. Just going down 1,000 feet. So that way, when I make the turn to come in 8 right, we can get a good intercept course on it. Hopefully.
What's better to get resolution, 1440 or 1980?
I don't know.
1080.
I really don't know. Okay, localizer just popped on. Waiting for us to get down to 4,000. Actually, all right, let's go. $180. Okay, speed brakes armed. Intercept course in. Glide slope caught. Good. Got a little nervous on that one. Good. It took the and the VOR at the same time. Good. Miami traffic, American 2039, 13-mile final, runway 8 right on the ILS, switching to CTAF. If you can't get off the ground in 13 miles, we've got a lot more to worry about. Okay, 3 green, flaps are now at 10. Spoilers armed, brakes 2. All right, we'll go ahead and set for 150 and full flaps. And Miami traffic, American 2039, 5-mile final, 4-8 right. Miami traffic, American 2039, 3 mile final, 8 right. A little long. Miami traffic, American 2039, off 8 right to the American gates.
Man, it's like the only thing that's keeping me from buying this monitor is streaming. If I decide to stream this curved monitor. Don't say don't fully shut down the plane yet.
I
At least
won't.
the
Well,
engines and
yeah, I
stuff.
will, but I'll have the APU on. Or did the engines have to be on?
Well, as long as the radar works, that's all that matters.
All right, we're in the blocks. Let me finish up probe heat. Let me make sure parking brake did indeed set. It did. All right, probe heat off. And stay, actually it doesn't matter. Weather radar, okay, we'll keep it on. Speed brakes, flaps, landing lights. All right, we're into blocks. Let's take a look real quick at the numbers. Elevatech put us in, which would have probably been pretty close to what Pegasus would have said if the guy in the right seat would have started the ACARS. I love that. 302 feet a minute, 126. Boy, not bad. I found some weather in the Columbus area. Looks like some pretty nasty storms from Cincinnati to Columbus.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's raining here.
Okay, let me unload that. Clear. All right. And the reason I'm not bringing Elevatech up, they are about to go beta. I want that to stay. When they're ready, I don't want to start showing things off. Okay, Sim Toolkit. 270 feet a minute. Wow, nice. Complete. Okay. All right, and the details, 2 hours, 42 minutes, 955 miles, 6,500 kilograms, 1.3 Gs at 126 knots. Really, looks like a good landing. Curious how far down the runway. That's, oh my goodness, I'm like right where I want to be. Those big hash marks right here that I'm circling, that is what you aim to touch down at visually. Now your ILS and your PAPIs or VASI, depending on runway, also help you to get to that spot. Now, there are factors that will make you float. Speed, weight, wind, but yeah, 1,400 feet down the runway. That is not bad. This set of hash marks here and pretty much in the US are about 1,000 feet down the runway. So that's really a good landing there. And we were on the center line. It's just 7 feet off. Not bad at all. 1.3 Gs, 126. There's the same mantra. Little less on the vertical speed touchdown. Overall, really good. And we're somewhere in here. So again, Miami, American parks down in here, parks down in here. This is where you can have fun with better pushback. Coming into here to get out and so forth. So it really becomes a fun tool at an airport like this. All right, well, that is a wrap on this flight. We still have the engines rumbling, and ZIBO is still doing what it normally does, and we're not going to turn anything off until Godspeed tells us. So what are we doing now, sir?
Just go to change the thing to like thunderstorms.
Okay, get
the
weather.
and then check the HUD, the new HUD. You remember where? Okay, you know where to go.
Okay, weather has changed. Whoa. Okay, that's a pretty nasty cell. Hang on a second.
You see the radar now?
Oh yeah, it's been on the radar. Better. Well, that's always been. Now hang on. You said to go settings, new HUD.
Yeah.
Okay, done. I don't see much change. Let me switch this one over. Oh, that's because it's out further.
So that weather thing's always been there on that
Yeah.
radar like that?
That's always been like that. What we're looking for, hang on.
You look like you're still running in the bits in the original one, like when you first started out.
All right, what I'm trying to do is get a good angle here to look. All right, let's see what we can see. Okay, map is not working yet. Nor the gain. I don't know which one this is. Yeah, I've always been able to see the weather. Now for a HUD, I'm thinking that this thing. That actually looks pretty good. Oh, let me get
Yeah.
Sim Toolkit out of the way. Sorry about that.
I was like, man, I can't even see.
Yeah, I've always had this. But this is actually the most, okay, albeit there's a building in front of it. So that could be part of why I'm able to see. I'd like to give this a try though. Traffic.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot scarier when you're flying through it.
Oh yeah, it was on the, yeah, but what I was looking to do is these switches here are your radar,
Yeah.
right above the transponder. And they're not functional yet. So hopefully here soon they will be. We'll have to see how this new HUD looks. What else did we have there? I don't know what VSync is.
VSync is like if you want like 60 or 144, whatever you're, that it would stay stable. Or try to get those frames, if that makes sense.
I don't know if I need that. I don't have track IR. What is, I don't have triple head to go. I'll have to look into, do I need VSync? Cool, but I like this new HUD. Well, again, usually when I employ it, it's useless. So,
yeah.
But yeah, the weather has always been there. It's just what I'm trying to, we should be able to see a map. And I don't, stand by, clear. There we go. Should be able to see like it showing the coastlines and stuff like that. It'll get there. I don't know when X-Plane plans to release it. We had previews, and they're up there on YouTube as far as I know still. But that showed us what to expect. We just don't know when. And that's why Tolus's A330, many of those switches don't work. All right, let's make sure we're good for shutdown. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see. Well, folks, that was a fun flight. But yeah, we could definitely see weather with this plane. We just can't get the depth that we're looking for. Okay. I love you. And oh well, they're gone already. I was going to say goodbye to Miss Lily, but we'll see her tomorrow. So we've seen that. Now we're just waiting for that next level where we can see it a little better. Oh, my nose. Oh. Oh, look at that lightning. That was pretty cool. By the way, yes, we have the weather set to thunderstorms. They're all going, oh my gosh, the weather is just not that bad here in Miami. So, all right. Well, we're going to go ahead and put a wrap on this, folks. I hope you all had a great time. I sure did. It's great always coming on here and streaming, even though I don't get credit with American Virtual. But we'll just have to fly it again. Darn the luck. So I hope you all enjoy. And I hope you enjoyed that hopeful preview coming soon when the radars are in a better place. For now, y'all have a great day. God bless. Thank you, Godspeed, for joining us, and everyone else. See you tomorrow.